in the heart of Nakuru County, Kenya, from Tuesday the 4th to Friday the 7th of June 2024, the third National Alternative Justice Systems Conference brought together leaders and change makers from across Kenya to engage in a profound dialogue on accelerating people-centered justice. Alternative Justice Systems, or AJS, have long been a cornerstone of Kenyan communities resolving disputes through traditional methods and community engagement. This year's conference focused on building capacity for Diakonia and Swedish Embassy, LRF staff, elders, and beneficiaries from Isiolo County and Mutomo Town in Kitui County who have been pivotal in this initiative. The conference provided a platform for sharing experiences and learning from different AJS applications across various regions, fostering an environment of mutual growth and understanding. This year's third annual AJS conference was the first to be held outside Nairobi, themed Accelerating People-Centered Justice in Kenya, Engaging, Expanding, and Retooling Alternative Justice Systems. The conference sought to entrench AJS within tradition and logic of social transformation through access to justice, of expanding organic, people-centered approaches to access to justice, which is a cardinal principle of the rule of law, and celebrates Honorable Chief Justice Martha Koome's pioneering role in this area. The second day of the third AJS conference was graced by the presence of Honorable Chief Justice of Kenya, Martha Koome, among other dignitaries, legal minds, and community leaders for the official opening of the landmark event, the third National Alternative Justice Systems Conference in Nakuru County. The four-day conference, co-hosted by the county government of Nakuru, the Kabarak University, the Egerton University, and the Nakuru High Court, featured opening and closing plenary sessions, interactive thematic sessions, NGO-sponsored workshop, exhibits, and assemblies of the various AJS stakeholders. Keynote speakers included leaders and representatives from NGOs, funding agencies, academia, the judiciary, the public and private sectors, and AJS practitioners from around Kenya.
Honorable Lady Justice Martha Koome, the Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya and the President of the Supreme Court of Kenya. Honorable Justice Richard Butere, Deputy Chief Justice of the Republic of Uganda and Head of the Court of Appeal of Uganda. Your Excellency Mohammed Adan Khalif, Governor of Mandera County. Your Excellency Honorable David Kones, the Deputy Governor Nakuru County, representing the Governor for Nakuru County. Kabarak University was founded on 16th of October 2000 by His Excellency President Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi, the second President of the Republic of Kenya, and the first Chancellor of the university. Since its inception, the university has grown in leaps and bounds. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the Kabarak University School of Law is clocking its 14th birthday this year, tracing its birth date to the year 2010. And with focused leadership, resilience, and a clear roadmap for the school, we have made great strides in the development of the school. Today, we can say with certainty that our School of Law has come of age and can comfortably host high-profile events such as the third Alternative Justice Systems Conference. Alternative Justice System is an approach we have already entrenched in our legal training at Kabarak University School of Law.
Professor Kitoni thanked the CJ for choosing Kabarak University as the venue for hosting the third AJS conference, and that it was an honor to both Kabarak University and the city of Nakuru as a whole. The CJ's presence signified the eminent position the Kabarak School of Law has taken as a leader in legal education in Kenya and East African region.
Kabarak University School of Law is already integrating the tradition of furthering the vital skills of alternative dispute resolution through the moot court programs. For this reason, our students are excelling in moot court competitions not just in Kenya but also regionally and globally. Just recently, in May 2024, our students emerged best in Africa at the 2024 All Africa Mediation Tournament organized by the Online Dispute Resolution Network and the International Academy for Dispute Resolution. And on 5th July to 10th of July 2024, Kabarak University School of Law will represent Africa in the IBA VIAC CDRC mediation and negotiation moot court competition, which will be held at the University of Vienna.
He thanked the judiciary, the steering committee on the implementation of the alternative justice systems policy, the county government and Egerton University, the civil society groups and the interfaith groups. The university has established a center for multiple justice systems at the law school, focusing on negotiation, mediation and arbitration, and that the Center for Multiple Justice Systems has commenced consultations with leadership of the National Steering Committee on the implementation of the Alternative Justice Systems policy with a view of developing a master's program on multiple justice systems. The program is aimed to train learners in various justice systems who will in turn entrench the earned values in communities and institutions.
CLACLE is developing a master's degree program in judicial science, which I believe will contribute to improved delivery of justice through offering advanced and specialized training on judgecraft. In this regard, our School of Law is in consultation with the Kenya Judicial Academy and Cardiff University, and I am hopeful that a revolutionary program will emerge out of this partnership. Another master's program under consideration at our School of Law is on the subject of leadership, governance, and ethics in Africa. This shows that our School of Law is moving in the direction of inspiring transformation in the areas of governance and justice for the good of our people.
In 2002, the professor established the Center for Legal Aid and Clinical Legal Education within the School of Law, while mandating the learners to use the vessel to conduct legal aid clinics and take up cases on behalf of the indigent and the public interest.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to thank our chief guest, Honorable Lady Justice Mother Koome, Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya and President of the Supreme Court of Kenya, for finding time out of our busy schedule to honor us with our presence to officially open this conference. I also take this moment to thank the Ambassador of the European Union to Kenya and Permanent Representative to the United Nations Environmental Programme and the UN Habitat, Her Excellency Henriette Gigner, whose presence here is a sign of support for an initiative that is very dear to our people. I wish to reiterate my warm welcome to all of you on behalf of Kabarak University. May the third Ajs Conference be a time of profound learning, meaningful connections, enduring inspiration, and positive impact for our people. Thank you, and may God bless you.
Honorable Justice Professor Joel Ngugi is a judge of appeal and the chair of the National Steering Committee for the implementation of the AJS policy, NASI AJS, or Steering Committee in short. The Steering Committee, appointed and gazetted by Honorable Chief Justice, with a role to strategize on the implementation of the AJS policy in Kenya.
Our work is to rally all the different actors and stakeholders of justice towards the implementation of the AJS policy. To this extent, we do creation awareness about the policy and about AJS generally. We do sensitization and we do training for all the different actors, and we segment who needs to receive creation awareness, who needs to be sensitized, and who needs to be trained according to what we call a concentric pedagogical model. So there are those who they just need to know about the policy. There are those who need to know a little bit about the policy, and there are those who need to be trained on the policy. Beyond that, we also participate in incubating new forms of implementation of the AJS policy by designing and adopting pilots, especially court annex pilots. So the most important strategic decision we made as a steering committee is to use the devolution logic in implementing the AJS policy, which means we go to every county and we encourage the stakeholders in that county, led by the county court users committees, to develop what we are calling county action plans on AJS, and then also to come up with their own bespoke tailored AJS model for that county. Sometimes devolved all the way to the sub-county, sometimes devolved all the way to the ward level, and sometimes all the way up to the location levels. These county action plans will serve as the basic strategic documents for implementations and popularization of AJS in each county. So far, we have been able to do 6 counties, county action plans for 6 counties, and we have about 4 others that are in preparation. So then what does it mean to be a member of the steering committee? It means to take part in doing all the above. The only other thing that I have not mentioned that as a member of the steering committee is involved in is to design or come up with the guidelines and rules for the different typologies of AJS. We are right now in the process of producing 4 documents in this regard. Draft guidelines for autonomous AJS mechanisms, draft guidelines for third-party AJS mechanisms, and draft guidelines for the court annex AJS mechanisms. We are also in the process of producing a draft training manual on AJS. So the work of the steering committee is to participate in all this and eventually to ensure that we have the full implementation of the AJS policy. Thank you.
The Governor for Mandera County, His Excellency Honorable Mohammed Adan Khalif, highlighted that this year's conference theme underscored the significance of inclusivity and innovation in the alternative justice systems. He emphasized the necessity of creating a justice system that embraces diverse perspectives and integrates new technologies, an approach that is crucial for addressing the complex challenges within the realm of justice and ensuring that every individual has fair access to justice.
It is with great pleasure and honor that I stand before you today at this 3rd AJS conference hosted here at Kabarak University in Nakuru County. This gathering serves as a beacon of hope and progress as we collectively strive towards accelerating people-centered justice in Kenya that is engaging, expanding, and retooling AGS.
He also pointed out that the essence of this year's conference theme was to illuminate the path towards a more inclusive and innovative justice system where every individual's rights are protected and justice is accessible to all. He urged everyone to embrace the platform in order to reaffirm our dedication to these fundamental principles and work together to create a more just and equitable society.
The theme of this year's conference highlights the importance of inclusivity and innovation in the field of alternative justice systems. Through interactive workshops, engaging panel discussions, and insightful keynote speeches, we aim to foster a collaborative environment for sharing best practices and addressing challenges. By embracing new technologies, enhancing community participation, and promoting transparency, we can truly transform the way justice is delivered in our society. Let us seize this opportunity to strengthen our commitment to upholding the principles of fairness, equality, and access to justice for all. In reflecting on the theme, or our theme of today, I am reminded of the profound words of the Holy Quran, which speaks to this important justice and equity in society.
Our Vice Chancellor, Professor Kipragat, thank you very much for hosting us. We celebrate this great university because 10,000 of our children are the ones enjoying this facility. As I stand on the earlier established protocols, I want to thank also our brother, the Honorable Chief Justice of the Republic of Uganda. You bear the same name with my younger brother, Richard Butere, but Ace is Rutere. So you are truly my brother. Thank you so much for coming to grace this occasion. Your Excellencies, the governors of Mandera. I was given a beautiful name in Mandera, Kaitum, a woman of honor. And I celebrate that name. I am also Tapach from Washingishu. Wherever we go, we never leave, we stay there. So I'm very, very encouraged also to just say, as a good lawyer, I adopt all those speeches that have been spoken this morning. I'm also tempted to say nothing, but just declare the conference formally opened. But being the Chief Justice, and because a lot has been spoken about people-centered justice, and last night I was declared a bishop. By the Christian Leadership Forum. I must say something, because a bishop cannot stand on the podium and just say nothing. Yeah.
The CJ alluded and complimented all the previous speeches because they accorded that we are the sovereign, we are the people, and because we are the people, justice belongs to us, and we are the agents of justice. She confirmed that the conference has made us understand that the judiciary is complementing what AJS is doing. She stated that the judiciary and AJS are not sabotaging each other, but working towards empowering the people access to justice, because justice belongs to all of us. The CJ made it clear that she celebrated lawyers and advocates by acknowledging their presence for attending the conference in big numbers, because AJS is also supposed to complement their work, not to take away their work. The CJ gave a stunning example of a very good advocate to that of food being cooked for many children while everybody is looking at the pot.
We have a very, very good advocate who gives us the example of the food being cooked, and there are many children, but everybody is looking at the pot. They have been given in their plates, but they have not even eaten what is in their plate. They are looking at the pot, whether there is more. The message he sends to the advocates is that we have many cases that are pending in our offices. And if we can embrace the multi-door approach and move them faster, it means we will have more work, because we will be empowering our clients to bring more work. We will not just be milking this one cow, that is this one client. You keep on sending fee notes year in, year out for 20 years. For how long can you milk a cow? It will die. So instead of this one cow dying, the cow will be multiplying. And you'll be having, like we call in Kemero, many toshaus, tojao, which you can sell, which you can milk, and that is what multi-door approach to justice is about. Multiplying, including the clients, because when we finish their work, they send more work on our way, more people come, your practices become more vibrant.
The CJ applauded the National Steering Committee on the implementation of the alternative justice system under the able leadership of Justice Professor Joel Ngugi and his dedicated team, because they had sustained the efforts of championing the cause of AJS throughout Kenya and making the third AJS conference a success.
Since he took over this responsibility in 2016, Professor Joel Goge has never dropped the ball. And I know how difficult it was to conceptualize what the Constitution meant by AJS. It took us more than 5 years in the judiciary to understand that particular provision of Article 159, what it was meant for the judiciary to promote the alternative justice system. Professor Joel Goge and his team spent many sleepless nights. And this is one agency, this is one task force that has never been budgeted by the judiciary. They have done this work through passion, and see where passion can take
The
us.
CJ commended the task force in how its passion has taken AJS to the 47 counties where the judiciary is developing county action plans. The CJ said that AJS is deeply firing in the communities after having connected with the counties as well as religious organizations, in that there was a launch of one of the sectors in Nakuru that are to deal with reconciliation, peace, and AJS systems that is championed by the Nakuru Christian Leadership Forum.
For us in the judiciary, this conference provides an ideal opportunity for animated conversations and exchange of ideas on how we can accelerate people-centered justice in Kenya and beyond. This is the third AJS conference that we are having in Kenya, after we had a very successful 2 conferences. And I'm eager with anticipation to see the innovations and game-changing initiatives that will emerge from our deliberations on how we can accelerate, engage, expand, and retool NJS in Kenya. As the times become more uncertain, assured access to justice remains a modicum of hope that we can cling to make our societies more peaceful and more cohesive. Stories have been told since yesterday when we convened to open the Restoration Center and the dinner we had last night of how effective NJS is in restoring peace among family and communities. Those stories have continued today because justice is both a process and an outcome. It recognizes the protection of all Kenyans and offers vindication, restoration, and restitution of harmonious social ties. When we recognize there is healing and there is power when people resolve their own disputes, that is when we will truly realize the social transformation promise of our Constitution. Many speakers have spoken about the justice gap, which rears its ugly end. The empirical reality of this view in our country came when we did the Justice Needs Survey in 2017. And this is why when we were conceptualizing NJS and even our social transformation through access to justice, all the justices, and I'm happy many of you turned up, we asked ourselves, if it's only 10% of the Kenyans who can approach and settle their disputes through the formal justice system, then which justice are we dispensing? What kind of judges are we? Are we judges only for 10% of Kenyans? We went further and saw that from that report, 71% of persons with justice needs went to alternative avenues of dispute resolution. And what was most shocking is 19% of the Kenyans with legal problems and serious violations of their rights did not take any form of action to resolve or seek any remedy. In other words, they died without violation, or they lived with the trauma of that violation. And this is why, as a judiciary, we decided that we will look out for that other 90%. And we will work with that other 90% by breathing life and spirit to all the alternative justice systems, be it court annex mediation, which has really taken off, be it NDL, and that is why the last year we had a very, very successful conference with the Kenya National Bankers Association to see how we can expedite disputes within the banking industry. And we talked about early warning signs. And I'm happy Mr. Gichora is here to tell us the successes of embracing NJS in the banking industry, that now 7 billion has been returned to the economy. So we will work together, and the judiciary, as we implement our vision, the social transformation through access to justice, which seeks to position the judiciary to contribute towards the realization of social justice aspiration of the Constitution through adjudication of disputes, facilitation of justice dialogues, connection of justice champions, and promotion of social harmony. We have recognized we in the judiciary are not judges to sit on the bench and listen to cases, but we are supposed to ask ourselves, like the fisherman who was downstream and the fish were coming downstream dead, what is causing the death of the fish? So as we sit in the bench, we are the connectors of justice, and we are the facilitators. That is why we are working together with the NJS, and we are working together with the court users. We are working with the bar and bench. We are members of the communities. We are judges. We are Kenyans. We must solve all our problems and make our country safe and secure for everybody to thrive and realize their full potential. So for us, we are on the right track because we now have AJS action plans in Kajiado, in Nakuru, in Mandera, in Turkana, in Narok, and Uasin Gishu counties. This is in addition to the launch of AJS Ukumbi Suites in Kajiado, Nakuru, Mandera, and you have heard the successes of Mandera, the inclusivity of AJS that we have even recognized a 7th clan in Mandera and the 6th in these Ukumbis. We have an Ukumbi in Samburu. We have in Turkana, which we launched. I was there. We have one in Ramu. We have in Uasin Gishu, Moibel, Talbot, Keses, Ainaboi, Kapsalet, and Isoi. We are doing well. We can still do more and plan to do more to expand, to engage, and to retool AJS across the country. Justice is a lived experience and therefore belongs to all of us, while the judiciary plays its constitutional role of ensuring that we deliver justice. The people themselves are our key partners, they are our key stakeholders, and they are the agents for their own justice. I am certain that we will continue to innovate approaches that enhance access to justice to all the justice seekers. To conclude, I wish has held very fruitful deliberations. I want to thank each one of you for the sacrifices you have made to attend this conference. I know it is such an effort for people to travel the distances you have traveled and to find their way here at the Kabarak University. I thank you all, and God bless you all as we continue with the conference. And with all the powers bestowed on me as the Chief Justice and all other titles that I carry, I declare this conference officially open.
Mimi naitwa Frederick Kinaro Maina kutoka Isiolo Council Elders. Kwanza wacha nichukue nafasi hii, fursa hii kushukuru Mama Kome pamoja na Isiolo Magistrate kwa kutabua na kupea wazee nafasi ya kuweza kutatua makesi kwa njia badala.
Legal Resources Foundation Trust LRF has been working tirelessly to unclog the criminal justice system through the use of paralegals who are based in prisons. The paralegals have been very instrumental in providing free legal aid to the inmates, linking prisoners with justice actors, making case follow-ups necessary to move stagnant cases, and elevating human rights conditions at the detention facilities.
Kama moja ya wazee wale wanakuwa Isiolo Law Court, wakati tumekuwa na makesi katika Isiolo, mara mingi tunaona hii njia inasaidia sana. Tofauti na vile kesi zinakuwa katika kotini, watu wawili wanang'ang'ana kwa koti, unakuta sasa mtu mmoja ameshida kwa sababu maybe hana wakili, amefanyiwa cross examination, amepotezwa njia na yeye ndio mkosewa. Sasa njia hii badala inapea kila mtu fursa na nafasi ya kuongea ile lugha anataka. Hata ukitaka kuleta methali unalete, tunakusikiliza. Mpaka haki yako tunahakikisha kweli wewe mwenyewe umeridhika. Na kutoka hapo tunafanya counseling, tunafanya mediation, tunawalete pamoja. Hata wakati mwingine ikilazimika tunaweza kwenda kwa hizo jamii huko nyumbani, tuwakalishe chini na tuwaambie hii maneno, nyinyi ni majirani, tuigie njia yote. Na tukiona njia ya mila ndio italeta nyinyi mwe pamoja, tunatumia. Tukiona njia ya dini ndio italeta nyinyi pamoja, mradi tu nyinyi umeishi pale pamoja mkiwa nasikilizana bila mtu kuchukia mwingine ama kujisikia yeye ndio mshindi. Kwa hivyo njia hii badala hakuna mshindi, ni njia ya kuleta watu pamoja.
Through provision of legal aid to prisoners, paralegals have invented a better way to utilize provisions of Article 159 of the Constitution of Kenya on the use of alternative dispute resolutions ADR by the courts. Initiated in Isiolo County and replicated in Kitui County, the paralegal officers innovatively developed a tool that is being used by the prisons to make applications for prisoners who seek their cases to be referred to elders by courts for out-of-court settlement, termed the Prison Model of Alternative Justice Systems.
My name is Sergeant Abdullahi Abdi Ali, Sergeant from Isiolo Prison. My roles and the responsibility of AJS as a prison officer. The first one is to educate the remand prisoners about AGS and its importance. Secondly, make an application to the court. Thirdly, looking contact person in case of any compensation. Fourth, calling or making contact with the complainant. The last is Council of Ella, calling the Council of Ella. At the same time, since the case is being handled in prison, I make the sitting arrangement in the prison.
Once the prisoner wishes to make an application to court for their case to be resolved out of court, the AJS Prison Model tool developed by LRF is filled for the prisoner by either an AJS trained paralegal or the prison officer and immediately filed at the court for free. Upon receiving the case, the court looks at the magnitude of the case, and if it qualifies for ADR, the court then immediately makes orders referring the matter to the chairperson of the Council of Elders from the prisoners' community for reconciliation.
I'm Corporal Justice Kitonga, works with the Kenya Prison Service, stationed at Mutomo GK Prison, and an NDS champion in Mutomo Prison. In Mutomo Prison, we have the positive impact of AGS. One, it reduces the pretrial periods from the normal judicial process to less than 3 days or 2 days when application is made. Two, it's less costly and time-bound. It has a certain time length when application is made. Three, it facilitates conciliation and family ties. Three, it gives accused a second chance in life. Instead of being imprisoned for a certain period of time, it makes him or her go back to society and have a second chance of life. Four, it helps in decongesting the prisons. Five, it makes the officers' work easier because we manage less people as opposed to a big number of people.
The elders are given a grace period of 14 days to settle the matter through ADR and give feedback to court within that period. The elders then visit the prisoner through the paralegal or human rights office. The paralegal or AJS prison champion facilitates the elders with airtime to make calls to the complainants to attend ADR session in prison in order to hold sessions with the prisoner.
My name is Julius Mutonga Kifuko from Kitui County, Mutomo Sub-County, Mudha location. I'm a secretary of Mudha Council of Elders. Some of the cases that are being referred from the court to us as a Council of Elders are assault cases, stealing, forceful taking oath, land dispute, malicious damage, land dispute boundaries.
My name is Mesha Katidi, Chief Mudha Location, Mutomo Sub-County in Kitui County. And I am trained by Legal Resources, funded by Swedish Embassy. Some of the interventions that I've done to promote AGS in Mudha, I normally introduce Council of Elders when I have barazas. I introduce them. I also train them, that is through mentorship, and I have also given them a office within my compound where they can use it to arbitrate cases which are brought to them by the community members. There is one particular case which was a challenge to Council of Elders, and that case involves some members who forced one of their member whom they were accusing that he is a witch within the community, and they wanted to use the cultural practices which involves killing a goat, taking that blood, and then gives that person to drink it. Within that scenario, it involved some of the disruption, and there was a case of assault. So that case was brought before the Council of Elders, and it was really challenging to them. They could not handle, and then they brought it to my office for intervention. When that case was brought in my office, I called the two parties. I took them through the Constitution of Kenya, which does not grant such a permission. And then I called the two parties. I handled the case constitutionally according to the law of Kenya, and the case was clearly handled. The two parties went home and they forgave each other.
If the complainant is available and comes to prison, then the matter is determined and settled. A reconciliation session is then held for settlement, and the agreed decisions and remedies form part of the final report that is submitted to court for endorsement, and the prisoner is immediately released from prison. However, if the complainant cannot be traced, then the elders will reschedule a meeting based on dates in which the complainant can be available within 14 days.
We face a lot of challenges. One of the challenges are some of the elders are not cooperative. Wanaweza sema ya kwamba mimi hata silipwi, siwezi kuja. Secondly, another complainant can tell me to send for him a transport, of which is not my responsibility.
My name is Margaret Aduto. I'm a program officer at Diaconia. Diakonia is a faith-based development organization that supports local partners, about 400 local partners in over 25 countries, Kenya being one of the countries that we support. The motivation for Diakonia to support AJS services was as a result of the Democracy and Human Rights Program, where we were supporting partners to promote access to justice work. And it is through that program that we sought out partners that were specifically doing unique work, but also advancing access to justice using alternative methods. And for us, the concept of alternative justice systems is both potent and transformative. It signifies a departure from the conventional approaches, offering a more inclusive, community-based and restorative method of resolving conflict and resolving disputes. By embracing alternative justice mechanisms, we recognize the diverse needs and perspectives of all stakeholders involved, thereby fostering healing, reconciliation, and sustainable outcomes. For purposes of sustainability, I think it is a collective approach and initiative. One of the ways of ensuring sustainability for AJS services for me is collaboration and partnership. This is not something that can be done alone. There is need for partnership both with communities and the justice sectors, but also the other bit is really engaging communities for purposes of ownership. And the other thing that adds to sustainability for me is the whole issue around documentation and visibility. When people get to know and see what you're doing on the ground and the impact that it has on people, how it's changing lives, how it is changing relationships within communities, then they are motivated to support the AJS services.
Today, over 78% of the justice seekers in Kenya who use mechanisms for justice outside the judiciary are no longer regarded as others or subordinate alternatives. This change flows from the bold action of the Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya, Honorable Martha Koome, to affirm through policy and practice that justice is not solely found in the state courts. Thus, while affirming the right of each justice seeker in Kenya to access the courts, the policy of the judiciary is to ensure that this constitutional duty goes hand in hand with the promotion of all constitutionally compliant justice-seeking initiatives.